going on right here? Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Truck is officially sold. It's not sold, but what I'm doing is I did sell the front bumper. I do have the hood currently for sale, the rear bumper. I might even put up the bed for sale because I am gonna do something completely different with this truck. I have someone on the way that should be here any minute now, and they bought the front bumper. I think they're gonna use it more on a Baja truck, which is more of what this is meant for. What this bumper is, it's a OEM TRX bumper chopped up to fit with a 4th gen Ram. If I were to get, I didn't build this, but if I were to guess, this mold right here is off of 4th gen, and then pretty much the bottom section, it would be off the TRX. Here's a picture right here, no gaps, no anything. They did a really good job on the bumper and the hood. Everything was an OEM fitment. There was no gaps whatsoever. I'm not gonna use that grill, I'll probably just let them take it too. Everything else is pretty much coming off as well. These fenders are gonna be for sale. I'm not sure on the bed yet. I might just sell it or put it for trade back for an OEM bed, just because it has the wing molded on. And for the new look, I'm not sure if I want to keep it this style.
Man, Severy, nice meeting you, bro. Man, I know, man. I had a fucking drive Hala for.
Yeah, those headlights you can take them. I don't know if you're doing aftermarket, but those are extra fog lights.
Okay, yeah. The bottom, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
You don't have to drive, or?
I don't, bro.
So if you want to explain, I'll send you a video. What the hemi? Okay, parts ordered. Now let's go check out the parts real quick on the truck. All right, so we're here at the local dealership, but pretty much the chassis are the same, the doors are the same on these newer trucks. What's different is pretty much from the front on. Okay, this bumper, I already got it. Luckily it's the same as the previous model, so I found that super cheap on Facebook. These were the hard parts to find because these trucks are like brand new. I think they're only been out for like a month or two. So this has changed. It's different headlights. It's gonna be the last part I'm gonna purchase because they're crazy expensive right now. But I got the hood, which has the hood scoops on top. I got this item. I got this item. The front grille, which comes with these little parts. Got the inside fender closure, which is pretty much the bracket that holds these fenders. It's also different, so I do have to cut that off my old truck. But everything else is pretty much straightforward. Oh, this is actually the grill I ordered, I think. It's a little small. I don't know if it's me, but it seems a little small compared to my 4th gen, or my tripping. I don't know. Feels a little more compressed. Ooh, Alcantara. The interior looks pretty much the same with the exception of this, which of course is a cool screen, so dang. Yeah. Just gonna open the hood real quick. Stage 1 is done. Easiest part was take off the hood. Then we need to take off these fender closures, which is pretty much the brace of the fenders. The harder part is going to be these braces. Pretty much the skeleton of the fenders and what allows everything to bolt in like factory. Alright guys, so those are the old parts. Here are the new parts. Being that this is a newer truck, there's 0 parts out there available, so a lot of these parts had to come from the dealer. Once I make sure exactly everything's gonna fit how we hope, then I'll share part numbers. Ready? What do you think?
Didn't you have a black one?
What?
Didn't you have a black one?
Yeah, but this one's different.
I think we should get a T-Rex.
It's a TRS.
What the hell?
We're gonna do a 2500 front end swap on this one, but not just the regular one, the brand new one that just came out a few months ago, which is gonna have a whole different front end on it. There's about 2 or 3 parts that are still on back order at the dealership. The biggest part of this project is gonna be removing these, because these are welded on. So we need to break the welds. Once I have the fender closures, the fenders, and the hood on, then we'll start to get more of a complete picture. Once we get to the grill and the headlight, that's where the fun really comes in, because it's just gonna look like a completely different monster. It's gonna be a badass build, so make sure you guys stay and follow this video. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and start with this top brace. This is going to be the easier one to remove, and it's also going to allow access to work on the bottom one. So all these little welds and everything in there is going to be a lot easier to get to once this bar is removed. So I already made my cut right here, and I cut out this gap right here. Now you don't have to make a gap this big, maybe at minimum half of it. The only thing is, once we wiggle this, and let's just say we stand on here or we hit this with the hammer, you don't want to be fighting the other piece, you know, by it resting on it. You want to put as much weight on this to break all these welds. So cut a gap. I mean, if you could cut this, that's more than enough. That's perfect right here. This is going to make it easier, trust me. Next, we have the 2 welds in there. I already drilled one out. I'm still working on this one. And after that, there's one hidden back here. So this is from the other side. And behind her, there's this little weld. As you can see, this part is removed. This is the one no one really mentions. As you can see, I didn't even know it was there. I was just able to break it. This little weld right here probably caused me about an hour of struggling, because I could not figure out how to get this piece off, because I had broken off all the welds I could find. So now that I did remove it, I'm gonna make your guys' life easier by letting you know it's about a fat finger's distance from here to there. So I already drilled this out. We're gonna go in with a longer drill and hit this one in the backside. All right, so this top piece is almost ready to come off. We got the welds broken in here. We got the weld broken right here. Now we just need to break this weld and break the one under it. The issue is the grinder is going to be kind of hard to get in there, and that's where a screwdriver comes in. These aren't super strong welds. These are like tack welded on, so this should be able to break it with the hammer. Same with this one, and then from there should be able to wiggle its way out. Pause the video. So I removed the first fender closure, just kind of recording clips on my phone, and I took that as a learning process. I'm like, I'm gonna remove this one, make a diagram and figure out exactly how to remove it. Then I'm gonna record myself removing the other side so everything could go smoothly. So that plan didn't end up working out. Moving the second closure, I'm gonna run into a huge issue, and you guys are gonna see exactly how much of a headache it was. But it looks like at one point in time, this fender closure was already replaced by the previous owner. Obviously, it hasn't happened since I've owned the truck. On the camera, it's a little easier to tell that this had been messed with before, but in person, out in the sunlight, it honestly wasn't that noticeable. The screwdriver trick really did break all the welds like flawlessly on the first side. That's why I was pretty confident on the second side. It was a learning process, so just enjoy the video. And we'll make a whole different video on how to remove it, because there's really no information online on how to properly remove it. Oh yeah, and if you got this far in the video, just subscribe to the channel. We're at 900 followers. We have not hit the first 1,000 yet, so you guys can be part of the original 1,000 followers. All you have to do is click subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment anything down below. You can return to the video. Let's go.
Is that easy? Didn't miss it? You sure?
I think I could. Alright guys, I did not expect that whatsoever. I realized this part had been replaced at one point by a body shop, and so of course all the planning didn't apply to this situation because they did their own separate welds. It looks like they had cut this whole section off. Added welds are impossible to get to without removing that spot again, so we hassled a lot on the easy part. Now as we're getting to the bottom piece, I started to see a lot of welds in the back, so I have no other choice but to cut that little window out. The only important part that you do not want to touch here is the original hinge bolts. You definitely don't want to try to mess with that, because that's going to help line everything up, and then your body mount's going to line everything up. So as long as we don't touch these, we're fine to mess with everything, and just as long as it gets welded back and structured, we'll be good to go. Now I still need to try to get this bottom piece, so we can stick to our deadline of adding the fender and the hood by today. Because tomorrow we go back to work, and throughout the week I'm really not gonna have time. But if I could finish that today, we'll be good to go. I appreciate the body shop that fixed it because they did a hell of a job. That thing was definitely under, but from the bottom of my heart, I got it off. As you can see, we just had to do it. We had to cut this piece off, and as you can see, all the welds that were on there, this whole piece, we're gonna have to re-weld it and restructure it. But now I could at least throw that part on, just bolt it on for the fitment, make sure everything lines up, and then of course we are definitely gonna have to pull everything off again and re-weld everything. So we're gonna go ahead and mock up the next fender and throw on the hood, and we'll call it a day right there.
He needs some milk.
Woo! All right, guys, there we go. We got some progress. All right, so the new one is bolted on, and no, we are definitely not going to leave this like this. I will end up probably taking it to body shop so they could properly patch this back up and make sure it's going to be safe. Now, this situation is probably not going to apply to most of you. In all reality, I was just going to skip this knowing that part, but I did want to show you guys what could possibly happen if you decide to take this project on yourself. So be prepared for it. This thing was a freaking hassle and a headache. It took me one day to remove and install one side, remove and install the other side. Now, if you're a professional, this is probably a couple hours if you have all the tools and if you know what you're doing. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. That's the end of the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to keep going. This is just part one of a very, very long process. Now, this is how the truck currently looks. And that's after we put all the parts together. Of course, it's coming right back apart. It still needs paint. It still needs to get touched up. It still needs to be restructured and welded. Fender closure situation. But overall, the truck is looking amazing. But now we got to decide on the paint. And of course, it almost has to go green. I just don't know whether to go with like a metallic green or just redo it that same strong neon green. Comment down below, what do you guys think? Or should we just go ahead and do black or silver? Still not too late to decide on something else. Of course, there's only so much that's in the first part of the video. If you guys have any questions, comment down below and I'll try to answer them on the part two. Thanks so much for watching. Let's go, baby.